Hello everyone, I hope you guys are all having a fabulous Tuesday. Today I'm coming at you with a highly requested video, and that is to do an updated wear and tear on the Chanel WOC, or wallet on chain. And although I do have two wallet on chains, I have one in lambskin leather and I have this one here in the black caviar leather. I haven't used a lambskin one as much since it's fairly new. And once I start to use that one, I will be able to do an in-depth review on that one. So for now, we will talk about this one since this one's a little bit older. So let's get started. Before I forget, the measurements on this beautiful bag are 7.5 inches in length, 5 inches in height, and approximately 1.5 inches in depth. As I said before, this is the black caviar quilted classic wallet on chain with the gold tone hardware. This one is about a little over a year old, so what better time to do an updated wear and tear on it. So thank you for all of you who requested for me to do this video. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, oh, one more thing I forgot to say, that this beauty retails for $2,100 here in the States. And when I purchased it, it was the same price. So I'm happy to say that within that year, it has not gone up. So cross your fingers that it stays that way. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the detailed features. You have the double CC logo with the gold tone hardware in the front, and I just have a felt in here, and I'll talk about that in a second. On the back side, you have one little pocket that kind of mimics the pocket that is on the classic flaps. It is a snap button closure, and when you open it up, you have a zippered secret compartment on the top, and then you just have, sorry, I have more air paper in here. And I will, like I said, I will talk about the storage as well when it comes to this bag. All right. And then you have the 6 credit card slots with you have half textile lining on the inside. And then you also have the other half that has leather. And this one says made in Italy. Oh, I'm sorry, made in France. And then you have one slip pocket here and then a zippered compartment here and another front pocket there. Okay, so overall, do I recommend this wallet on chain? I do. I think this is one of the best SLGs / bags that Chanel has, especially for the price point. And I'm always amazed every time I use it about how much I can fit in here. You do have to go very compact, so you have to sometimes use a lot of clays depending upon how much you carry, or if you are a minimalist and you only have a few things, I think this is still a great buy. It's just amazing how much this fits, and it's so comfortable to wear. It doesn't get too heavy. Even if you pack it to the brim, it's such a great buy. Okay, so let's talk about the wear and tear. So as I said before, this is a little over a year old, and you will be able to notice a few things, such as on this side, you will see that it's still pretty, it's folded in, and you can see the little fold here. And then when you look on this side, you'll see that's a little bit more open and a little bit more bulbous. And both sides are pretty wrinkled, and that's just due to the fact that I sometimes stuff it, overstuff it, and then it goes right back. So you will tend to get these little wrinkles throughout. And honestly, it's because of poor storage on my behalf that one side is a little bit more wrinkled than the other, and that's because I do use air paper when I store this. And I have noticed that the air paper tends to go more so on the left side than on the right side. So that's why you still see the beautiful pleat on here and not so much on this. Now, when you go on the bottom, you will definitely be able to see the difference. Sorry, I'm not trying to wash out the color of the camera. But again, I tend to stuff them, not necessarily overstuff them with air paper, but I would like them to retain their shape. So I'm going to have to see what I can do about fixing this, or maybe just fixing this so that it stays that way. I haven't decided yet, but I will fix it. Since it's leather, it's a little bit easier for me to be able to fix it. Okay, so let's look at the corner wear on this. There is absolutely no corner wear on this whatsoever. And in the beginning, when I first used it, I was a little apprehensive as far as using it. I didn't want anything to happen to it, but now when I use it, I don't even think about it. I just throw it on my shoulder, or I use it crossbody, and I don't, like I said before, I don't think about it. But let's look at the wear. Usually WOCs tend to have the wear here and here, and I can safely say there is no wear whatsoever. I prefer the caviar leather over any other leather in Chanel. I know that some of the other ones are a little bit more luxurious, but for me, as far as being carefree and not having to think about something, especially if I'm going to spend this type of money, I want to be able to not carry, I don't want to feel like I have to carry it in a bubble and make sure nothing happens to it. You know what I mean? I want to be able to enjoy it. So Caviar leather for me allows me to do that. Okay, now on the hardware, you will see that there's, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but there's actually no scratch marks whatsoever. I honestly thought that I would have gotten some scratch marks, but I haven't. I haven't at all. Now, when you open it up, you will see wrinkling throughout the sides, and that's normal, again, just because of wear and tear of you opening up the flap, and since it is all leather, it's going to happen. You will see that. It's a little bit more, I guess, on this side than that side, but still not too bad. Now, when you open it up, I have seen some WOCs that the gold foiling is starting to peel, but as you can see, mine is still pretty much intact. And this isn't too wrinkled up here. And now let's look at the credit card slots. As I said before, I have used this quite a bit, and I'm still happy to say that, I'm happy to say that the credit card slots are not, what's it called, stretched out or anything like that. So that makes me very, very happy. All right. And then in here, I rarely use this pocket. I have used it sometimes for my phone. Same thing with this back pocket. I don't use it too much. But there you can see, I think it still looks really great. There is no scratching along the leather part where it says made in France. There is no, I think the interior looks fantastic, especially for being a year old and for using it as much as I have. I'm very happy that it's held up. I did notice one thing that I had not seen before. I don't know how, but I'm going to see if you guys can check it out. Do you see those 3 little dots right there that are kind of like a gray, they have like a little gray effect to them? That is actually, it looks like it's like maybe the leather rubbed up against something that's a little more abrasive. And those 3 dots are actually the Caviar pebbles that are starting to discolor. So that's the only thing that I noticed. And it has one little snag, one little hair right here that's, not hair, I'm sorry, one little thread that's that's a little bit loose, but I don't know if it has to do with this and this caused that. I have no idea, but that's the only other thing that I can notice. Other than the little thread and the 3 Caviar pebbles and the slight wrinkling throughout it, there's really no other wear and tear on this. Now let's look at the chain. I think the chain still looks great. It's still very, very shiny. It hasn't dulled. Even the leather in between it, throughout it, is still very, very, it's still very, very pebbled because of the Caviar. And it still smells like the day that I bought it. But there you go. So altogether, I haven't had too much wear and tear on this. I'm very happy. Besides the wrinkling, as I said before, will happen because it is a leather piece. Now, I want to do a little in-depth on on storage on this. So what I like to do is, as I said before, I like to use air paper. I try not to have it too full of air paper. There is a little bit of air in there, not too much, because I have to see what I can do about, the little wrinkling on one side and the other. But I always try to put air paper in there to try to make sure that it keeps its shape, because I don't want the wrinkles to make it, sag or anything like that. So I always do that. Now, all Chanel WOCs, when you buy them brand new, they come with a little felt, and this is a major, major plus for the sole reason that when you put this little felt in here, and you have the little eyelet there to make sure that you have the button there. The main reason why I say to use this is because of this zipper right here will actually end up digging into the lambskin, into the Caviar leather if you're not careful. So as you can see, when you shut it, if I was to snap it shut, this will start to dig into the leather if I did not have the felt. So I always urge you guys to use the felt to make sure that you don't have an indentation on the leather here. As you can see, when it was purchased, I still had that little bump, and that's just from when the zipper would hit right there every single time. So I always end up using the felt just to make sure that I don't have a very noticeable zipper mark on the Caviar leather. Okay, so that does it for the felt. I always make sure to do that. And I always have, some people I've noticed that like to have their chain on the outside of the dust bag. I actually prefer to have mine on the inside. And I just put it right through above the air paper. Let me just show you so you guys know exactly how it looks when I store it. I put the air paper in first. The felt has to stay on there. And I will adjust that because obviously, there we go. Obviously the air paper kind of smashed it in. And then I just put the chain right through the top. And that is what it looks like. I try to even it out so it's as even throughout the walk as possible. And what I do is I actually don't shut it with the button. I leave it pretty much open like this so that I can further make sure that the zipper does not dig into the Caviar leather, if that makes any sense. And then I just pretty much leave it like this, and then I put it inside of its little dust bag. So that is kind of how I store this, just to try to make its life as long as possible. I want to keep it looking as great as possible because this is a highly sought after piece from Chanel. And I know that there are quite a few different, I've heard of some stories that people say that they've been on the list to get this for 2 years, a year and a half. So I was very fortunate to be able to find one very quickly. And that is now in my collection. And I think this is a great piece. As I said before, it fits quite a bit in there. More than anything, it is also very versatile. You can use it as a little mini hand purse. You can use it crossbody. You can use it as a little clutch. You can use it as a wallet. There are so many different ways that you can use this. And I think you can really, you really get more bang for your buck with this because there's so, like I said before, so many uses that you can get for it. But I highly recommend it. Great piece from Chanel. If you're starting into Chanel and you want to try a smaller item, I think this is a great way to go. Or if you just want to try a smaller mini bag, I think this is great as well. I think you cannot go wrong. Even though it is considered an SLG, which is small leather good, I consider it a purse, as I think most of us do here. But I still recommend it, even with the slight wrinkling that I'm going to have to try to fix. But that does it for the review, you guys. I hope I was able to help you guys out. Okay, so we talked about the leather. And I don't, oh, that's another thing I forgot to say. I don't clean the leather whatsoever. If I have to, sometimes I dab water on there just in a circular motion to take any, if I get any residue off of something. But I don't use any leather conditioners for it. Sometimes I will take a white cloth and take it to the chain just to try to clean it off. I don't know if you're allowed to do that, so I always say ask your sales associates just in case, but that is just something that I do. And as you can tell, it still looks pretty good for as old as it is. And I'm going to have to see what I can do about these three little dots here because I hadn't noticed that before. But okay, so we talked about the leather, we talked about the hardware. The hardware still looks great. And we talked about storage. I think we covered pretty much every base on it. Hopefully I'm not forgetting something, but I feel like I am. But anyways, that's it, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And as I said before, I hope I was able to help you guys out and maybe deciding to get this Chanel WOC. I really do think it is a great investment piece, and I promise you, you will not regret it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I might see you tomorrow. If not, I will see you on Thursday. And as always, make it a fabulous day or not. The choice is yours. Have a great day, you guys.